All right, my question for this week was number 16, which says, two dogs chase a car and catch it. Rover starts 70 feet behind the car and runs 15 feet per second. Spot starts 140 feet behind the car and runs 25 feet per second. They reach the car at the same time. How fast is the car traveling in feet per second? Note, it might be that the car has to be backing up, in which case the velocity will be negative. So I kind of put everything on a number line here to show the distance away that each of the characters here in our story are. The car here is at the 0, and Rover is 70 feet behind. Spot is 140 feet behind. So we put them on the number line here at -70 and -140 to show their position. And we know that for them both to go and catch up to the car at the same time, they need to catch up at the same amount of seconds too. They can't have one catch up in 7 seconds and one catch up in 6 seconds, because they wouldn't catch up at the same time. So what we're doing here is we're taking Rover's starting position of 70 feet, -70, and adding the 15 feet per second that Rover can travel, and we're using t for the amount of seconds that it takes. And -140 here, plus 25t for Spot and the speed that he runs, which is 25 feet per second. So we just got to find t here. So do some basic algebra here. Take 15 out from each side. You're left with -70 equals -140 plus 10t. You add 140 to each side, and you're left with 70, positive 70 that is, equals 10t, and then you get t equals 7. And this is the amount of seconds that it'll take for each of our dogs to reach the car. And if we want to prove that, or plug it in to see if it works, which you should, if you go over here, if you take Rover's speed of 15 feet per second, multiply it by 7, which is the seconds that we got, that equals 105. And -70 plus 105 equals 35. For Spot, 25, which is the feet per second that he ran, times 7, which is the seconds we got, equals 175. And -140 plus 175 equals 35. And since these both equal 35, this is what we want. We both want them to have caught up at the same point, and we want it to take them the same amount of time. So it took both of them 7 seconds, and they both ended up at the 35 here. So if we take our line here, we know that 35 feet from where the car started is where they caught up to the car. And we are happy that 35 is where they both caught up, and also caught up in the same amount of time. And you can use that to also figure out how fast the car was going. Because if they caught up to the car 35 feet from the car's starting position, and it took them 7 seconds to get there, that means that the car traveled 35 feet in 7 seconds. And if you take 35 divided by 7, that means that 5 is our answer, because he was traveling 5 feet per second, or the car was traveling 5 feet per second. And that's your answer.